Now, while the country celebrates its 80.1% matric pass rates, there are those who were not successful. What kind of psychological support will they need? Lauren Martin, psychologist from the South African College of Applied Psychology, joins us now for more. Good afternoon, Lauren. Thank you very much for your time and welcome to today here. Yeah, I guess it's tough times for those who did not succeed, but it's not the end of the road. Psychologically, how can those pupils be supported? We do know that they might have an opportunity, of course, to rewrite whatever subjects they did not succeed to pass.
Thank you so much for having me. And maybe I could just say that this is a transitional period for all learners, even those that were successful. And so there's quite a lot of psychological stress and transitional stress that is associated with figuring out what is the next step. Of course, those that are disappointed by their results or those that maybe did not pass their matric exams, there are still a couple of options available. And I do just want to say that if we believe that the matric results is the only option and the only way forward to success, then I think we have failed our youth. The inability for them to know, and communities and parents and loved ones to know that there are many options out there, it must be told to them. We must be equipping our youth. So like you've rightly said, those that didn't pass, there is an opportunity to upgrade and go through your supplementary examinations. The Department of Basic Education also has a particular program that allows those that didn't pass a second opportunity to try and pass their exams. But there are multiple other options. For example, trades, trade opportunities or trade qualifications or trade short courses are in high demand. They don't necessarily require a matric pass. And internationally, they're on most of our short skills lists. So there is great opportunity for learners that also haven't passed their matric results there. I also want to say that if you haven't been successful or as successful as you've wanted to, there are other options such as exploring a higher certificate in higher education. It's an opportunity to build literacy skills and make sure that you feel comfortable and set up for success. And that then gives you an opportunity to move on to, for example, a bachelor's degree. Another option that's available out there is learnerships. Go and apply straight out of school. Go and find work already that allows you to upskill and explore your interests. How many of our learners or youth really know what their interests are, what their passions are, where their skill sets lie, and where they should be going forward in order to create a meaningful career trajectory? Very uncommon at this stage. And so if you've got the opportunity to go and work, and explore those skills, that's a wonderful way of learning more about yourself and setting yourself up for success. And then, of course, we've got lots of free courses online, MOOC courses that provide you with technical skills. Short courses, it is almost the best way to explore a variety of different skill sets and options and find out actually where do your interests lie and what's worthwhile pursuing forward.
Yeah, I'm pleased you've mentioned online learning there, just because we've got what, 200-something thousand matriculants who've just passed, according to what the Minister of Basic Education announced yesterday. I don't remember the exact figure, but our TVET colleges and our higher institutions of higher learning, our universities, they cannot absorb everybody. There's no capacity at the moment. So even if you've passed your matric, you might battle to find a space in a particular thing. But you've said there's that online world nowadays where you could also, through which you can study.
Yes. I mean, I think it's a really good point that you have raised. What we have seen in tertiary education is that there is limited space and capacity. And so we often have learners who have been accepted or who have a bachelor's or a high certificate pass that applied to as many places as possible, and basically wherever they're accepted in whatever program that may be, they go for that because it's an opportunity into higher education. And what we often find is a high failure rate or a high dropout rate, because actually that's not aligned with where our students' interests or skill sets are. So exploring the online world, especially post-COVID, we've learned that we can do that. Our matrics have gone through studying online or some version of online or distance, and so they are better equipped to go out and actually pursue studies online.
Yeah. Psychologically, I mean, you said it's a period of transition, whether you've passed matric or you have not been successful, you can do certain things. But what were the biggest psychological support that must be given? Let's first talk about the successful ones to make sure that it's a good transition. In addition to what you've already explained, that they can find options of what they can study in different places. What is the biggest psychological support the successful matriculants will require now?
Thank you for that. So yes, we've already spoken about lots of options, and I think that is a great coping mechanism. Being informed about the way forward helps psychologically so that you are not totally dependent on one idea of success. Another critical piece of support is family or loved ones or the community that surrounds the learner. I mean, parents or the community or loved ones need to be asking themselves if they have created a safe space for learners to talk about their results, whether that's been successful or unsuccessful. Often we have those that are successful but sit with disappointment. So as parents and leaders, are we creating that space that's safe enough for our children to tell us how they feel? You know, do our children sit with the baggage or the burden of how parents are feeling? So if parents are disappointed, or if parents were very fixated on a particular route and now that's not possible, do your children sit with that? So not only do they have to deal with their own feelings, they're having to sit and process their loved ones' feelings. And often what happens here is that our learners isolate themselves. I think it's important to just say that suicide and the deterioration of mental health around matric results and not knowing the way forward during this transition period is another failure on our youth. They need the support around loved ones to know that actually your matric results is one step. It is not the only step, and that is not the determinant factor of whether or not you're going to be successful or not. So parents and loved ones play a critical role here. For learners that perhaps don't have that support, and there are many learners that sit in this case, I think it's important that they know that there is Lifeline, SADC, Suicide Crisis Line available. They are free, and there is a space for them to feel safe to talk about their feelings. And it's not to say that if you're successful or unsuccessful, you're going to have particular feelings. Because it's a transitional period, there is high levels of emotions for all matrics at this point.
Yeah, Dr. Martin, as we conclude, and if you may very briefly, if you had a matriculant who didn't pass now, sitting in front of you to get advice, and they need to get motivated again, they need to get going again, what is the one thing you would tell them to focus on so they can move forward?
I'm going to be quick and just say there's two things. One is, let's acknowledge the feelings. There needs to be space for that. They need to feel heard, they need to feel loved, they need to feel cared for, and they need to know that their feelings are justified and disappointment is okay. The second very important step is, I would do some career mapping with my child. I would sit down, I would investigate different options, I would reach out to different institutions and organizations, get informed. Getting your matric results and going straight into tertiary is not the only option.